Hermitcraft Infinity.
Welcome back to Hermitcraft Infinity. Alright, as you can see, the quarry is still going here, and it's going kind of slow. Can't really be helped right now, although I expect soon to be able to feed it more power at a time. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it going with the single coal-fired Stirling generator. I'll get more power going into it sometime soon. Got some chests upgraded. The barrels are all these barrels up here, well, except for that one, they're all upgraded pretty much just about to the max. Got 3 diamond chests, only into one of them so far, and I've been taking iron and copper out of there to go ahead and get it processed because I've been running awfully short on those materials. In any event, what I want to do now is I want to hop into my test world thing here, and I want to power through as much of this Thaumcraft research as possible to get everything caught up to where I'm at here, so that I can then do the rest of it here on the server, this world, and get going with doing things. So, time to cut. Alright, let's see how much of this we can power through in one episode here. So, last time out, got the advanced node tapping, we got the node preserver, which is really important because if you're using a wand that is better than the iron capped wooden wand that you start out with, we'll get to a better wand very soon here. It leaves at least 1 V of each aspect in the node, because if the node gets down to 0, if an aspect gets down to 0 in a node, then it's possible it might not regenerate, and so on. Okay, we've got most of this stuff. I'm going to go to the next one right here, master node tapping. Get research for that. And now I'm going to go ahead and work up a solution to that. Okay, here's the solution I came up with for this one. And let's take this discovery, right click it, have a look in here, and we're now able to draw V 3 times faster from nodes when recharging wands. So that's good. It's a good time saver. Alright, node in a jar. Let's get this research node. And I'll be back with the solution. Alright, here's the solution I came up with for this. And as always, my solutions are not necessarily always the best. They just whatever I find that works for me. And also, I would point out that you don't necessarily have to go around the edge like the way I've been doing. I've seen people tie them together with each one, run a path out to the middle and tie them together that way, and other ways. It's whatever you can do that connects all of them in some way. I personally like doing it around the edge. Okay, have a look at node in a jar. Right click that, have a look at this, and this gives us the procedure for making a node in a jar, a way to actually move a node. It's fairly expensive, 70 of each of these kind of Vs, along with some glass and slabs. And it allows you to move a node and makes it possible for you to do wand recharging and such without having to chase all over the countryside once you have enough of the right kind of nodes moved to a custom location. Alright, let's see. There's one, actually 2 more here. Alright, deconstruction table. Alright. And results in a moment. Alright, here's the results I got for this one. And let's have a look at this. Alright, the deconstruction table. Here's how you make this in the Arcane Workbench. with a thermometer, a golden pick, and a golden axe, and a table, the same kind of table you make the workbench and the research table out of. And that brings to mind something I should have showed before and didn't, and that is the arcane workbench. To make that, you got your iron cap wooden wand, and you just right-click the table with that, and it forms into the arcane workbench. And also your wand will jump into this slot up here. You don't have to have any V in the wand to do that, and that just makes the table so that you can use it. It also functions as a regular crafting table, and so on. And I'll be showing the use of this in various things soon, which you can click here to get the research to show you how to build it, slabs and planks. And go ahead and return to this. What you do with the deconstruction table, you can put things in it and it will deconstruct them, and one of the aspect points that is in that item may show up. It will show up occasionally, not all the time, but it is a source of aspect points that you can then click down them and get them added to the research points that you have stored in your research table. It's a way to help get a few extra aspects beyond what you're scanning. Okay, next up, research duplication. All right, solution for that in just a moment. All right, here's a solution for this one, and this one proved to be a little bit difficult because I usually start down here in the lower left and I work clockwise around the thing, and I couldn't get it to work until finally I kind of turned it upside down and worked it like this, and this ended up working. So, research duplication. Go ahead and right-click that, have a look here, and this is a way to copy completed research notes. When you complete research or place a completed research note in the research table, you'll see a star icon where you click it and receive a copy of that research as long as you're carrying paper and ink and have enough aspects. The more copies you create, the more expensive it gets. So, like for example, if somebody was to give me a research note for something that I have already solved, I could put it in the table, there'd be a star by it, I'd be able to make a copy of it and hand them the completed research. Pretty handy little thing sometimes, I think. Although, honestly, I don't think I've ever used it, but you never know. Okay, moving on to the Thaumaturgy tab. Alright, we've got the basic wand craft here for making your iron-capped wooden wand and so on. Of course, we already have that. We're going to go over here to Greatwood Wand Core. Get the research for that. Alright, here's the solution I came up with for this one. And here's that thing I was talking about. I did it right here. I could, if I had paper, ink, and 6 arbor, 6 instrumentum, and 6 precontatio, I would be able to make a copy of this research note just by clicking that star. And apparently I don't have all of what's needed to make a copy right now, but we'll go ahead, right-click the research, look in here, and now we know how to make a Greatwood Wand Core with 2 Greatwood logs and 3 Perdito in the arcane workbench using the iron-capped wooden wand to start with. Okay, next up, copper wand caps. Solution in a moment. Okay, here's the solution I've got up, and go ahead and look at this real quick. And copper wand caps with either nuggets or the, I guess that's copper ore berries or whatever, and 2 each of Ordo, Ignis, and Air in the arcane workbench to make those. Alright, next up, gold wand caps, and it should be fairly similar. And as I expected, it's pretty much very similar. This leg is a little different, but this part is the same. Alright, gold wand caps, and we look here, and it's a much better material to make the wand caps out of than copper or iron. 8 each of Ordo, Ignis, and Air in the Arcane Workbench, along with some gold nuggets. Alright, now let's see. There's only one more thing to open up here, so let's go ahead and get into Wand Foci. Okay, this one too seemed to be pretty straightforward. Okay, Wand Foci, and we look at this, and you can see it's opened up some new stuff here. You got a wand focus of excavation, or of frost, or of shock, or of equal trade, and also the focus pouch to carry them in. And now this one, I can go ahead, because you see it's different shape and it's flashing, and I mouse over it and it says right here that as long as I've got those aspects available in the right amounts, I can just click to purchase that research. So I clicked, it's not blinking anymore, it's new, and now this shows how to build a focus pouch with some gold, leather, a mundane belt, and 10 each of these aspects in the Arcane Workbench. Alright, now over here, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get to the rest of the wand foci later. I'm going to go ahead and get the node stabilizer research next. Alright, here's the solution here, and node stabilizer. Let's have a look at this real quick. Node stabilizer, it's a handy way to, if you put this below a node, it prevents the node from draining V from other nodes or from being drained. It also keeps unstable nodes from losing their V, and it has a small chance of eventually removing the unstable condition completely. It also has a really small chance of turning fading nodes into pale nodes. This requires power, however, and the node stabilizer draws this from the node itself. It doesn't draw enough to reduce the V of the node, but it does cut the normal recharge rate in half. So with piston, arcane stone bricks, block of quartz, and gold, and some nitor, and 32 each of Ordo, Terra, and Aqua in the Arcane Workbench to make this thing. Applying a redstone signal turns it off. Okay. And then next up, the advanced node stabilizer. And this, all I have to do is click to purchase the research. And have a look at this. This is the advanced version. You take the regular node stabilizer with some stone blocks of redstone, some nitor, some alimentum, and a fair bit of aspects. Note instability, dangerous. So there is a high chance, a serious chance of some instability when making this. And this isn't in the Arcane Workbench. This is an infusion recipe, which we're not ready for that quite yet, but fairly soonish. And this performs it does all the same things that this regular one does. It does allow stabilized nodes to drain V from lesser ones, and it has a higher chance to improve unstable and fading nodes. It does cost a lot more power from the stabilized node, not enough to drain it, but even the brightest nodes will have its recharge rate almost completely cut. And there's a serious instability thing, so we'll get to the instability issues in time. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is harnessing V. Get a research note for that. Okay, here's the solution. A little bit repetitive, but it works. All right. Have a look at this. All right, what this does here, in a kind of a short version here, because really it is beyond the scope of this video right now to go into too much detail about this thing, because we're not even in a position to begin using something like this. But this recipe, you start with a node stabilizer, add this stuff on it in the Arcane Workbench, and you get a node transducer with 32 Perdito, air, and Ignis. And what this thing does is, see, you've got a node that you have on a stabilizer. You put this thing on top of it, on the top, and what this thing is going to do, you apply a redstone signal to it, it begins converting, and it turns the node into an energized node. It quickly loses all of its stored V, and it takes a little while, but once it's converted, it starts producing what this thing calls centivs, or a hundredth of a V, each tick. The energy can be tapped by placing V relays near the energized node. And the V relay recipe here, a balanced shard and some iron, some Ignis and Ordo, and a workbench. You get your 2 V relays, and they relay the V from the node to where you need to use it. Say, for example, if you had a infernal furnace, it needs V to operate. And you could use a chain of these things to run V from a node to the furnace to power it. That's a very simplistic explanation. These things can be used for quite a lot, I understand. I've never used them before. They haven't been in the previous versions of Thaumcraft that I've used. But I do expect to get to be using it sometime soonish. As it is, however, this video has already gotten kind of on the long side. I think I've managed to pack a fair amount of stuff in here, and we'll have another episode of research coming up very soon, because I want to get cracking with this stuff as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.